Kromer, and I was the co-director and props designer for Vote. Vote is a story about a young woman named Nicole who is unsure about whether or not her vote will really matter, and is unsure whether or not she should actually go to the polls and cast a ballot. And so she finds herself on this theatrical odyssey through American history where she encounters Revolutionary War soldiers, she encounters women fighting for women's suffrage, she meets Martin Luther King in Selma as they're anticipating the march to Montgomery, and she encounters a slew of other personalities throughout time and sees each and every one of the struggles that have been so hard fought to achieve the amendments to the Constitution that allow voting rights for so many marginalized populations. I love theater for social change, and I think that Vote is a really great incentive for young people to actually learn about the process of voting, learn about the history that has led up to this moment in time, and what we've all gone through in order to achieve the right to cast a ballot in November. I love a show with good dramaturgical research and a good history behind it, and this play is absolutely chock full of really, really monumental moments of momentous change in our country. And so the way that this story moves us through each of those different movements to try and gain voting rights brought me to a lot of really, really great detailed research in terms of what happened in Valley Forge, like the nitty-gritty, really difficult struggles that those soldiers went through, going into the women's suffrage movement, and the way that our sisters in history have had to fight so hard to try and get their voices heard and try and find a place at the table alongside their male counterparts. And then throughout the civil rights movement and throughout the 1970s Vietnam War era, just the opposition that has stood so strongly against people getting the right to vote highlights so strongly the way that that vote holds a lot of power. And so throughout our research leading up to this show, it was really important for us to acknowledge how much each and every one of those movements fought to win those rights. I, of course, want audiences to go out and cast the ballot. That, of course, is first and foremost. But I think even further than that, I would love for audiences to realize that even if they're too young to vote, even if it's not an election year, just paying attention to what's going on in the world and in the country, and paying attention to how they can make personal changes in the way that they interact with their fellow human beings and their fellow citizens of the country can really spark those progressive changes that will actually make the country into what each and every citizen of this land really want it to be.